Hello everyone, I am back. I'm not going to give you a channel name because I'm going to post this on both my writer's page and my tarot channel. But this is the completion of my junk journal. This is my very first junk journal completion. I'm so proud of myself. I used bling on it on the front. I even added something on the back and put some charms. I mean, I'm so happy with my junk journal. I'm so happy. I'm going to show you just every little thing that I made in the process of making this. I mean, I just love it so much. This is the binding. So I did just a simple binding. I only ended up adding one signature because it turned out to be so fat that I was like, you know what, that's going to fill it up. Even though it doesn't perfectly match, you know, the spine, I just took some twine and wrapped it around a few times and then tied it here and then added one of my butterflies. And then I cut off one of the strings and let the other one hang down. I didn't want to add like a whole bunch of more charms or anything because as you can see, I mean, I have charm. This is a charm. You're going to see. I like the way this gets caught on the flowers. Isn't that pretty? But usually it just hangs down. And then I love the way it clicks. I think I showed you that in my first one. Okay, let's get started. I didn't do anything different from when I did the cover. I showed that to you on my first video. What I have played around with, and you'll see that I added to this, and I'll show you what I've added to the back, are these mini envelope journals. So I put a stamp, a butterfly stamp on the back, and it's just double-sided paper, and then I cut out, you know, some round pieces to it and put a brad in the middle of it, attaching it to the different sides, the two sides of the envelopes. And this is just like a homemade envelope. It was just a long strip of paper and I folded it up and then I left some space here and made a flap. That's it. Okay, I meant to cover this with a little piece of paper. I think I did that here because here I would have to, because the cards, the tags would have been scraping against it, and it's actually underneath the pocket that I have there. Aren't these pretty? I love these papers that I use. See, look, these are tags. I made so many tags, you guys. Oh my God. Okay, I'm a Pisces, so I do jump around. Forgive me. I mean, I made tiny little tags. I've made a whole bunch of, well, I actually have a box of tags. And so I just basically covered them with papers and made them look antique-y by smudging the edges. And I had so much fun. And then I've made tags that have bling on them with ribbon and charms and lace and charms. Yeah, these are a little longer. But these go back in this project. Okay, this little homemade, like I said, it's like a homemade envelope. And so I watched a tutorial on it. And what I'm going to do probably with the beginning of my next project, yeah, see, what I'm tripping over is the bump that is this. It's the other side of the brad that actually adheres it to the card. And it's in the way of the tag. But it should be covered so that I don't, yeah. So, okay, I got it back in there. So these are just came from some papers that had butterflies on them, but they also have the colors, you know, that are present. I did another, I put a newspaper, some paper I have that is old newspapers, and then I stamped it with the same butterfly stamp that I put on the back of it. And then this is a pocket, and I made a couple more, I put a couple more tags in there, and there's a butterfly, and I meant to put a little piece of paper to cover that just so it doesn't look like the other side of the brad. Now, a lot of what you'll see once I start showing you the journal is I use a lot of stapling. Like some people use will sew with their sewing machine. And I do have a sewing machine. I even have a serger, and I could have used either one. I just didn't like, I kept telling myself every day, okay, I'm going to sew tomorrow. I think I'm going to add my lace to the edges with sewing it. When I tell you, I love the effect of staples. I love that even on the opposite side of a page that I've stapled, it leaves a pattern. I mean, you see like this. I love that you see the other side of the staples. I don't know. I think that's cute. And this is junk journaling, so it doesn't have to be perfect, but that adds to me, that looks a little industrial even. See? Can you see that? Yeah. I don't know. I love that. Anywho, so this was one that I did. I'm not going to twirl it back around because I have so much to show you. And then this is one that I did that has even more detail. So before I put down the first circle for the pulley system, I stapled some lace, as you can see, at the top of this flap. See? And then I also, for this one, I added the newspaper on the back, but it's a pocket. And so I added one of my fancy tags. And this came from a double-sided paper pack that was all about fashion and lace. And then on the back it's like earth-colored butterflies. But this is very thin paper for this pocket, so I have to be careful with it. And then I put my butterfly stamp there. I have a lot of stamps, but you'll see that in the journal. And then I did my one butterfly stamp. There's a pocket here with a couple of tags. And then this time, okay, so see, I covered the inside of the brad there. That piece of paper is covering the inside of the brad. And then I stapled a stack of tracing paper. So first I cut some tracing paper into strips, and then I folded them in half. And then, so this is like maybe 1, 2, this is 4. Came to 4 pages, and at the top of each page I stamped a butterfly. A different butterfly at the top of each one. And I would just be watching like TV shows. Yep, and that's that mini journal. And then for the back of my journal, I use these tiny binder clips I have, and I'll talk about how I do charms, my personal way of doing charms. I haven't seen anyone else do this, but because I love charms, but I don't have the like I'm 56 on Tuesday, so I don't have the patience to deal with jump rings, even though I have a bunch of chain. I can't. Like, I can't, because sometimes they don't close all the way. I can't. Anyways, here's another one. I don't even know what you call these, but they're a kind of envelope journal, and there are several. I mean, there's all kinds that you can make. And then on the back of this one is a pocket with a butterfly and a couple tags. Okay. So it was just about adding it to the back, you know. I don't think I did anything extra special. I did put a double layer of lace on this one. I don't think I made it. I covered my brad though. Oh, it's a little stiff. Covered my brad with that piece of paper. And see, there's a lot of stapling, so I just love that. To me, it's like an industrial type of effect. And then I have 2 pockets here with tags. I just think it's cute. It's so cute. I should have added a pad of paper, or you know what I mean, or make it look like it's like a journaling spot to hang over there, but I'll probably do it in another project. And so that, of course, gets clipped onto the back of my journal. Another thing you'll notice is that every sturdy piece of paper has a trim. So I have a lot. See, I have a lot of trim. Okay, so let's start with my way of making charms. I think I said this on my first video about the junk journaling, that I didn't like the chains, and I just mentioned it a minute ago, you'll notice that I've done is I've used a lot of thread, just regular. Well, actually, this is a sturdier thread than just regular thread. It's like a quilting thread. It's very stiff. So what I would do is I would take my awl, and I'll show you. Okay, you don't go here. You go on this page. All right. For this particular journal, I did cover the inside. I did cover the inside of the cover, you know, but I did not add anything to it like pockets or nothing, because I really wanted it to just be about the signature, about this insert, okay? But I did do collaging of paper, so it does look beautiful. And then the spine, the inside of the spine, I think I showed this to you guys. I think I had done that much. I covered with a double layer of lace, okay? So this is my first page. And I made a giant wheel with a brad, and I hung some, instead of making one of those little flap envelope books, I just hung some of the twine as if it was going to, but I didn't. And then I tied some thread from there and added some charms. Added just a couple of small charms, and then I tied it into a button and then stapled it. Did I staple it? How did I get this? I think I stapled it to, I stapled it to the page. I stapled the button to the page so that this is not swinging all over. It's actually attached and it doesn't go anywhere. So I like that. And then I put a trim on, pretty lace trim. So that's my first page. I added some pretty stickers. These are stickers actually, because there were so many flowers. So I wanted to give a garden motif. And of course I added a double layer of lace up here, and then I added a single layer, but it's a thicker lace, so it kind of, you know what I mean, in thickness it kind of matches that. All right, and then this is the second. I'm telling you, this took me a while, but I love it so much. So this page is like the inside of my signature, so I didn't do anything with it except for collaging it. I love the collage. Okay, so I did the same thing that I did to the book in inside cover of the book. I just collaged it. And then this is my real second page. Child, I mean, I went crazy, mainly because the paper itself was very lacy. So I said, why not make it just, you know, crazy fancy? So I took my awl, I made a hole, and then I tied some thread, one side of the thread through the hole, and the other side I looped it over the top of the page since it wasn't going to go very far. And then I tied like 4 knots right here, and then I just started, you know, I added 2, and then I made a series of knots down here, and then added this beautiful charm, and then left the ends to just be, you know, strewn about. And then these are tags. This is a side tuck. This is a tuck spot. See? It's just like newspaper, old newspaper with I smudged the edges, and then I added a piece of ribbon. And I think I've shown you guys some of that. I don't know, but I'm just gonna have to show you. And then these are the tags I added to this page, and they're my fancy ones. I like the fancy ones, but I also like plain ones. I just love it all. Okay. I know I'm gonna on some of the pages I probably won't take the tags out, just because I don't want to forget where, you know, what goes where. And then I added a piece of lace that actually has a seam down the middle of it, so that you get a, you know, the pattern of the lace on the inside. And then I stapled the end, you know, the edge of the paper to the seam, so that I have, you know, it's just so pretty. And in order to do that, I had to take these tags out because they stick out, and I didn't want to make the mistake of stapling anything that was not supposed to be stapled. Okay, next page. Very farm, and this is actually a card. You'll see in my next project I've learned how to do hinges, and I'll show you that here too with some of the I did like a self-made envelope type of, you know, display type thing. And so this is just the big card. I left one side open to be a tuck spot, and then I just put some really pretty farm tags in there that have bling on them. It's just 2 of them, and then I put one big one here in this pocket that's made out of burlap and lace. Pretty. And I added like a little, I mean, just and the same thing with the charm up here. I used the same hole I used on the previous page on the other side and did basically the same thing but with different stuff, you know. This is actually a piece of printer paper that, okay, I had folded it in half, but after I did whatever I did to the other half of the sheet, I didn't like it. I mean, it wasn't cute anyways. So I ended up turning this around and folding it in half this way so that you'll see this on the other side. And I had, you know, just really embellished it, made it pretty on both sides. So that's what that is. Then the next page, just cute little tags in this pocket up here. This is like a marker for gardening. Lots of lace. A little bit of lace at the top, but that's on the next page. Whoa, this is my crazy page. As you can see, I put everything but the kitchen sink on this page. Like I have stickers, I have a charm, I have some lace, I have fancy tags, I have 2 pockets. So this is one pocket on this side, and well, actually it's not even just on that side, it goes all the way across, and then a smaller pocket down here. See, just crazy. And then there's I stamped it. Let's see if I can show you the stamp. Yeah, with this vintage typewriter stamp. And then I also used the large butterfly. On this one I used a lot of stamps. Well, not a lot, but you know, more. So I used one of my mushroom stamps, a couple of jugs, my butterfly stamp, a frame around it, and then a gold embossed sticker. And I drew these lines myself for journaling, and then I smudged the whole page. This didn't turn out like I wanted, but I didn't want to have to take out another journaling spot, so I just left it in. So just forgive me for it, because I don't like it. I don't like it. But it's there for journaling. This I love because I love the burlap and lace piece, and then I added another trim on top of that, which is kind of a burlap threaded type deal. And then I added a button and some charms dangling down with thread. I made a pocket here and added the same trim to the edging, and 2 farm tags. This is pretty long actually, but I shouldn't have taken it out because it's hard to get it back in there because of the lace at the bottom, and I don't want to tear it. I don't want to tear the pocket. Okay, there we go. And some stickers. I mean, this took a lot of work. It takes a lot. Excuse me. This page was kind of simple. So this is actually the paper, this blue. I smudged it after I added the pockets. I just went into the little spaces and added a little bit of the smudging brown. And then I added pockets to it that just had pattern on them. I don't know, just to make it pretty or different. And then I added some cute little tags, and these are my pretty little tags that don't have any embellishment. They're just pretty. And I added one to this pocket here. This is actually a pocket, and this is the tag in it. And then I added a piece of pretty pink ribbon and put some charms on the ribbon and stapled it at the top and at the bottom, and sewed this one on because it's pretty heavy. Actually, I sewed all 3 of these on. See? And then this is a journal spot with just stamping. I love butterflies. I have books at the bottom because I'm also a writer. And a lamppost, just because. And this is another one. Journal spot. Just a little bit of stamping. Here's another crazy page. On this one, I mean, it's, yeah. I'm telling you, when it comes to journaling for me, I can't speak for anyone else. But for me, because one of the channels that that I love is Terrace something. And I'm going to get it's about 4 channels that I really watched a lot of before I could get my perfectionist mind to actually sit down and create something and do a project, because I learned so much from those ladies. And so I'm going to come back on probably, this is from the back. I thought I had lost some charms. I'm like, what did I do? Something fell off, but it didn't. Okay. So this one, again, I have come out of the lace. I put a flower up here. See? This is a pocket. I have a couple of tags in there. I put some stickers up. I actually cut this butterfly out of some paper, some scrapbooking paper, and glued it down. And then I stapled, this piece of lace, and then I stapled an entire page length of lace. And then I used my thread, put it in there in the lace, and then made some knots, and then added some charms and left the ends to flow in the wind. I love my journal. Please let me know in the comments how you like my journal, okay? I would love to hear from you. This is going to be on 2 channels. Oh my gosh. I don't know about you. Maybe I'm tacky. I don't think so though. It's just a lot of pretty all together. That's all it is. And this is where I actually did the binding. So you can see right here is right at the crease of the signature is the thread, or the, not even thread, it's what do you call it? The twine right there next to that. See? And I did about three passes to get that. So I did a pocket all the way across because I wanted to add a bunch of little tags, and I did. One of which has a nice little charm. And then I did a pocket up here. This is actually a tag that has some fabric, like big chunky fabric too. But I don't know why. Like, I always get the idea to do it before I do it. And then this one, I think I showed this to you last time. I just like that tag, so I wanted to use it. And I put it in here. And then I put this one in front of that. And then, yeah. And I put a flower, my favorite color, turquoise flower, over that. And then on this page, okay, so this is the first time I added a self-made envelope to the journal. Like, this is, and it's really a faux envelope. It's not even a full envelope, which I could have glued on. Like, I could have taken one of these and not added anything to the back and just glued it onto a page, which I'll probably do. But I'm going to learn how to make other things too that I can put into a journal. But so I have these butterflies that are made out of a thick paper that you glue down, and I smudged it. I don't think I should have smudged it, but I already did it. And then I put a sticker of a crocheted flower in the middle of the butterfly. I don't know, I was reaching that day. I think I was up really late and really tired. So for this one, okay, let's see, there's the flap. Oh, this is the thing about adding this, right? I had to make a hinge in order to make the flap and the body, because there's no envelope. So the page is the envelope. So this is, I used some washi tape, which is this scrapbooking tape, and then I also added glue to the tape. in order, because I saw it on a tutorial, in order to make it stick and last longer. So one part went to the page, the other side went to the flap, and then I was supposed to do the same underneath, but I forgot because that was my first time trying it. And then I did do it right for the bottom. So that's how I was able to make this, see, this part that comes down from the page. So this is taped and this is taped, and it's also taped on the other side of there to hold that together. Then I added some paper for journaling, and then I also put a bit of a decorative trim there. And under that I put a stamp of an apothecary bottle. And I added lace here and some charms and a pocket and some tags. See? So that was my first envelope in the journal. I love creativity. I do. I love it. Okay. All right. Oh, also at the bottom of this lace that I put along the inner border, where I have lace, you know, I have charms at the top. I added a few charms, or how many? I added a couple beads and one charm to the bottom of that piece of lace. See? And I love that you can see the threads hanging from. I mean, it's a junk journal. It's supposed to have some junkiness, you know? A little bit of sloppiness almost, but not as far as the beauty. And this page, it was a pretty paper. I mean, it was okay, but I just didn't want it to be another same type of deal. So I covered it with this a couple of strips of this lace I have that's gorgeous. And then I sewed some charms at the top. And then I tied some thread to this one and let it dangle this charm, but it was flying everywhere, like it wouldn't stay on the page. So I sewed it down through this secondary hole down here. And then it has, you know, the ends hanging. I just thought that was simple and pretty. And then I added, you know, the trim, the lace trim to the page before it, but it shows on that side too, so that's fine. This is another journal spot with stamps. This is a journal spot with stamps, which is the purpose of a journal. And this is just simple. I was, you know, at this point, I wanted to finish the journal and I didn't want it to be so big. I was still trying to hold out hope that I could get more than one signature in the book. I was not going to do it. It was not going to happen. It would have been too much. So, for this one, I added some bleached burlap that's woven into a pattern. And then one of my, I don't even know what these, they're not even stickers because it's something you have to adhere with glue, but the butterfly. And then I did some collaging with different papers and made sure that this paper with the clock on it ended up at the, you know, on top of everything. And then that's it. Yeah, that's that page. But I think it's simple and pretty. It's still beautiful. And then you come to this. I love it. Do you love it? Oh my God, I love it. This is the paper here. So the paper, as you can see, is just beautiful enough. But I love lace. I mean, I just do. It's such a romantic journal anyways. So I added a butterfly. I made a pocket down here that goes all the way across. I added like 3 little tags, added some lace at the bottom. Yeah. And then this is not a journal spot. It's just a copy paper with a huge stamp of a dragonfly and a screen. And some things that look like a garden. Yeah, just something simple, but still pretty. And the other side of that is, again, not a journal spot. It's the vintage typewriter stamp with the lamppost and my big butterfly stamp, which I think is still pretty, you know. And then here's another one. So this is a card that I think I had a certain number of them. So you'll see in the journal I make for my children, I'm actually going to use these cards to hinge them onto pages. So I'm just going to use the hinging that I've learned how to do. I'll probably, instead of using the washi tape because it doesn't really match any of my paper, I'll probably use paper from the stack that I'm working with and make hinges for these cards to put them into either on a page, hinge them to a page, or hinge them to the spine of a page so that they, you know, they move over like their own little page. You know what I mean? I hope you know what I mean. So for this one, again, I used the bleached burlap. I used this card as a pocket. So these are tags, and this is a really fancy tag. It's not even fancy. Like I showed it to you last time, that the paper's so beautiful, all I did was put an eyelet in and tie a bunch of lace to it. And that's the tag, you know? And this is the home that I chose for it. Okay, and that's that page. And then this page, oh my gosh, let go. I just let the, I was really tired. And so I just let the page stand for itself, the paper that it comes with. And I put the trim on this side instead of the other side. And it's just lace trim, you know. And then this is the other side of that paper I showed you that I folded in half along the spine that I decorated. And this is another self-made envelope. And I really zhuzhed it out. So I put so much. So I put double layer of lace, stapled double layer of lace here. I stapled lace to the side there. Wait, hold on though. Hold on. But the thing that I stapled the lace to, not just the page itself, right? But to the edge of the envelope. It's really like a drawbridge. It's not even an envelope. So this is the flap. I did the hinge correctly, this side and this side. I did the hinge correctly at the bottom, here and here, but I put lace. Move, piece of paper. Don't mess up my baby. So I stapled lace to the edges of this. Isn't that pretty? And I collaged the surface of it. And I used very romantic papers, and then this is like map paper, and I made a pocket here, and because I was covering up parts still, I kind of blocked the pocket on this side, but that's okay. And then I put tags in there, and this is a pocket too, and I put some tags in there. I think that's very cool. I hope I'm doing this right and that I'm not putting this too close to the, no, okay. I almost thought that my envelope and the page itself were two pages accidentally stapled together, child. Anyways, again, this is one of those things where I just let the paper stand for itself because I was tired. And this is the last page of, this is the end of the signature anyways. So I added on this is the back of the signature. I just added 2 layers of lace for some trim, and then close the book. I'm gonna clip back on the 2 envelope journals, and that is my first junk journal. I'm so happy with it. I love it so much. I don't know what I'm going to use the journal spots for, excuse me, to talk about. I'm sure I'm going to just add like some encouraging affirmations to myself for each aspect of my life that I'd like to improve and grow in, because I have a lot of self-love to do. Okay, let me add these. I want to add these back to the back So what did I have back there? Which one was it that I stamped? Because it was just one, I believe. I think it was this one. Yeah, I think it was this one. So I'm going to close it again by doing this. Come on, get in there. Like that. And I'm going to put it here because I don't ever want to cover up my trim. And then I'm just going to clip that on like that. And clip that on. See, turn around. See, the thing is that I made them so that the thread is on one side of it. So if I tried to clip it on the wrong side, like I just did, it would be in the way of itself. And then I put them together so that the charms are pretty. And again, this is thread. So where did I put the thread in? I think I looped it through these, you know, the handles, and then tied it right here a few times, dropped it down, made some knots, and started adding my charms. And I just love I love the sound of it, just like I love the sound of that. Okay, I showed you a lot of my tags last time. This is my next project for my daughters. These are going to be small journals. These were actually going to be the other signatures for this journal. It never would have worked. I mean, it would have just been so packed, it wouldn't have been able to get closed even that much. Do you know what I mean? It would have been like so big. Ugh. And yeah, even though junk journaling, I don't mind the junkiness, because it's really just about innovation using materials. It's not that it looks junky. It's gorgeous. But I'm not really trying to make something that's ugly, or, you know what I mean? Okay, so I'm actually, for this one, I'm gonna add some extra things to it. Probably some more pages to it so that it is fatter. And I am gonna make it, you know, with as much va-va-va-voom as I can for my girls. I already decided that I'm going to bring some twine around the middle and then tie it here and have charms hanging down from the spine. Since it's just a fold, you know, it's a folding type of journal, but there's definitely going to be trim along the edge. I'm probably going to do some homemade envelopes in here, but where I actually glue, I'll probably do the type where I glue one in, you know what I mean? But I'm also going to see what other kinds of things or ways I can make pockets where it's more structured. See, this I think is going to be more of a paper journal where I'm making things. So I might make pockets that look like envelopes, and then you open them up and it's a bunch of tags or something like that. It's going to be much more structured, but very beautiful still. So I can't wait. That's these two. But I'm going to watch some tutorials because I know exactly what it is I want to do with that. And then I have a pack I bought from Walmart of envelopes and cardstock. And the thing I did last night, I was just, you know, unwinding from finishing the journal, because believe it or not, I finished like half of the second half, so a quarter of the pages last night, just deciding how that I was going to finish it very simple or whatever. But so I practiced making hinges. So I made a hinge of an envelope onto this cardstock. So this is a page of cardstock that is folded in half, see? And then I made a hinge out of the cardstock, and I hinged this envelope on both sides to the cardstock. And then the glue here had seeped out, so it's like a little flaky, but I would cover that with paper anyways, with decorative papers. So I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do with that. I might do something like, and then, well, in order for this all to fit, I cut the edge off. So I had actually split the envelope on the sides. So I just glued it shut on both sides. So it's still an envelope. So I have to decide what I'm going to do with it though. I don't know. It'd be a little project just for me to learn something new, how to build something. But I don't know. I have a lot of them. I have a lot of envelopes. And there are a lot of ways that you can make envelope journals. So I'm just going to watch. I've already watched one specific project, where a woman in Germany did that. And I might watch it a few more times and then do that particular project myself, because it didn't take her very long and it wasn't very complicated. Other than that, let me know please how you like my final project, what you think of this hobby of mine. I almost thought that I should create a new channel for junk journaling, which I may. I'm still thinking about it. I might do it as a spin-off of my my tarot channel, and just call it like Gypsy's Creations or something like that. I'm not sure, but yeah. And it would just be a hobby. Like, none of my channels are full-time jobs. I'm looking for a full-time job, okay? These are channels where, like my tarot channel, I really like to give guidance and hope, have some fun with tarot reading, that type of thing. I'm really not trying to be rich. There are so many people that are doing too much. They are harming their children with this need to be a social media famous and all these things. I'm going to do a talk, and maybe I'll just end this, come right back on and talk about, balance. So anyway, let me know in the comments, as I said, what you think of my hobby, and whether you think it deserves its own channel, even if I only put something up once in a while. Let me know. Okay? Love you so much. Peace.